Welcome. Today I'd like to talk to you about writing. Writing, you say? Yes, I know what you're thinking. Where's the remote? I don't want to hear about writing. Well, wait just a moment, will ya? What if I told you that there could one day be a software that would ensure your essay would be perfect? Some of you just got excited. I can feel it in the air. Oh, but I can also feel some hesitations. I suspect that it's from some of the older people. I bet you're thinking, kids won't learn how to write correctly if grammar check is that advanced. That is an honest concern, but here's some evidence to hopefully persuade you my way. In an article written by Dennis Barron, he discusses the advancement of writing over the years, and there are a few things that stuck out to me as eerily familiar to what your concerns may be with my proposal. When the eraser was first invented, teachers were afraid that their students would not take long enough time to plan out their writing beforehand because they knew they could just erase whenever they wanted. That view seems extremely dumb when we look back on it today, because we all have erasers and rely on them so heavily when doing handwritten work. He goes on to discuss how the older generation is full of adults who are immigrants in this world of technology, which can be very scary. And I'm sure that's why the idea of a perfect grammar check does terrify some of you. Now, let's talk to a real-life student about this. Hey there, PJ.
Hey, Jake.
So PJ, do you like writing?
Not really.
Why is that?
Well, it's boring.
But do you at least think you're a good writer?
Yes, I do.
What if I told you that you were a bad writer?
Well, Jake, I don't like that. And I'm not really in the mood to write right now.
Interesting, PJ. Because in an article written by Susan Nobles and Laura Paganucci, they discuss the studies of how students' writing can directly be affected by their perception of themselves as writers. A student who thinks they're a good writer will work more diligently and produce higher quality writing than a student who thinks they're a bad writer. Now, PJ, do you find it discouraging when you get a point taken off here and there for misspelling a word or forgetting a comma?
Well, why, yes, Jake, I do. I just feel bad because that doesn't reflect my writing as a whole.
I agree, PJ. Would you like a software that can prevent all those small mistakes so you can strictly focus on your ideas and the way you present them?
Oh, I would. And I feel like I would think of myself as a better writer, too.
So there you have it, folks, a real-life example. In an essay by Dana Boyd, she explores how much technology has worked its way into our education system. In all of her examples, including a lengthy one on Wikipedia, she talks about how we first resist technology, but eventually it incorporates itself into our lives. Because frankly, it just makes life easier. So the resistance against advanced grammar checking software is no stranger to this trend. The younger generations, since they're natives, are willing to accept this into their daily lives. We just need to get everyone else on board. Joanna Sorrentino, who wrote an article for education.com, discusses how she believes that spell check makes students lazy in their writing. From my own personal experience, I can say there's no such thing as lazy writing if you want a good grade. I've found that when I'm writing an essay, spell check just kind of helps me along. I'm locked in and typing as fast as my mind will let me. Spell check just makes that process smoother, so I don't have to worry about little mistakes that don't reflect my writing as a whole. She also discusses in this article an experiment that was performed on Katz Business School. 33 undergraduates were asked to proofread one-page business letters, half with spell check on, half with it off. With spell check off, students with higher verbal SAT scores made an average of 5 errors, and students with lower SAT scores made an average of 12.3 errors. But with the spell check on, high-scoring SAT students made an average of 16 errors, and low-scoring students made an average of 17. She says this shows that students rely too much on spell check. But do you know what I say? If students are comfortable relying on it, let's improve the spell check software. Focus needs to be on the ideas they're presenting and not on the punctuation of the sentences and spelling of their words. So, if we work on developing a mistake-proof grammar checking software, we can achieve a world of better writers. But wait, that study I just talked about was taken in 2003. Surprise, we're living in 2017. That's right. Grammar checking software has developed over the years and it's nearing perfection. Sites like Grammarly.com, Ginger Software, Whitesmoke.com, and some other ones are fairly popular. They aren't perfect yet, but they're getting there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they got there soon. But until then, we should all support the use of these softwares and perhaps even make it a requirement for students. They can learn from their mistakes the software points out, but never stop encouraging them to check over their work, because even I agree, a human eye is the best way to check. I just think a software, such as the ones I have mentioned, will help make students better writers rather than worse. Thank you for your time.